Despite the fact that we are in the 21st century, there are still parts of the world which are unexplored. One such area includes large swaths of the Amazon rainforest within Brazil where there are even uncontacted tribes. It is in locations like this that you might wonder, could an animal exist here which was long thought to be extinct? For example, imagine if you were walking through a patch of the Amazon when suddenly a diseased patch of trees allowed you to see an unbelievable sight, an actual group of dinosaurs walking around. You might think, well, this can't be, as they went extinct 66.043 million years ago. Of course, the hypothetical sighting of dinosaurs in the Amazon never occurred. However, something similar did actually occur in recent times where an important animal thought to be extinct for 66 million years was unexpectedly found thriving in the oceans. It just so happened that the creature in question was less visually appealing than a living and breathing dinosaur. What I'm referring to is a unique lobe-finned fish referred to as a coelacanth, and they were rediscovered via the following events. In 1938, local museum curator Marc Latimer in South Africa had spoken to a group of fishermen, telling them to alert her if they ever caught something unusual. After all, they had access to fish which preserved or alive could make for a nice display in the Natural History Museum. She subsequently received a call from one local fisherman on December 22nd of that year who claimed that he had caught something truly unique that he couldn't identify. Visiting her in person, the fisherman brought a massive 1.7 meter or 5.5 foot long fish which weighed 72.6 kilograms or 160 pounds. The fish looked quite strange, and its fins seemingly had a resemblance to the structure and mobility of amphibian legs such as on salamanders. And she swore that she had seen this very exact fish before, or at least something that had a close resemblance to it via fossilized remains that were more than 100 million years old. She then mailed some drawings of the specimen to a notable fish scientist. Upon receiving these drawings, along with a note that explained how this recently caught fish came into her possession, he immediately sent back a telegram which stated, "Most important, preserved skeleton and gills equals fish described." Immediately thereafter, it was decided to preserve this coelacanth specimen, which remains today in the East London Museum in South Africa. This specimen was the first of approximately 200 catches of the fish which would occur in the nearly century since, indicating that this organism was alive and well with two living species. Today, these still elusive fishes have been found living offshore not only from South Africa to Madagascar to Tanzania, but also off the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. These fishes are considered to be living fossils as their role and appearance has not greatly changed since they first appeared 415 million years ago. Coelacanths were once considered to be highly important as they were the closest link between a fish and the first amphibian which walked on land, meaning that a slightly modified coelacanth-like creature may have been the first amphibian. This is due to the fact that its fins extend away from the central portion of its body and move in a walking pattern typical for certain four-legged animals. While still important, it was later discovered that coelacanths were not actually the closest fish to the earliest amphibian, as genetic tests in the last decade revealed that title would instead fall to a species of lungfish. However, coelacanths are the second closest genetically to the earliest amphibian. As a whole, coelacanths were incredibly common in the fossil record in the early and middle Devonian period when they served as predators of smaller fish in shallow depths. However, due to their fairly unique lungs, coelacanths could also survive in somewhat oxygen-poor deeper waters. These fish took their first major hit during a mass extinction 359 million years ago caused by a major glaciation. Later, 90% of species were wiped out by the Siberian traps flood basalts caused Permian-Triassic extinction, and by the time that non-avian dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago, there were very few species left. Yet, two species have clearly survived to the present, which begs the question, how? The answer is that while the three major mass extinctions wiped out all shallow water coelacanth species, the select few which lived in deeper waters were largely able to survive. This was due to the fact that the zone of the ocean at 500 to 2300 feet depth largely hasn't changed during the last 415 million years, unlike in shallower waters. As to why they disappeared from the fossil record, this relates to them disappearing from shallow waters where heavy sedimentation and other factors favored fossilization. At deeper depths, these conditions do not exist, meaning it is difficult for any creatures there to become fossilized. As a final note, please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube.